Hey guys, this is Sairaj from Wani, and we're in conversation with vocalist Burton C. Bell, frontman of one of the biggest, if not the biggest, industrial metal bands out there, Fear Factory. How are you doing, Burton?
I'm doing fantastic. It's great to speak to you today.
Great, great. And let's dive right into the new album Genexus. Now, after so many years and so many albums and so many changes to the band's lineup, how do you feel about Genexus right now?
I'm very, very positive about it. Very proud of this album. I think it's a new classic from us.
Right.
And I think it's unmistakably a Fear Factory record. If you put it on, you'll know it's Fear Factory. So I'm very proud of it. So far, so good.
Great, amazing, amazing. Now, let's talk about the two new songs that you've released, Soul Hacker and Protomech. Now, from what we've seen so far, a lot of the fans have been saying that those two songs sound a lot like your classic albums, Demanufactured and Obsolete. So, would you agree with this comparison?
Sure. We did some researching, and we had to, we went back and looked at some things that we were doing right. It's nice to reflect upon what you've done in the past, and then go back and try and do it again without experimenting too much with your sound and without losing your identity. So yes, I would agree that there's definitely an inflection of demanufactured and obsolete in there.
Cool, cool. And when I listened to Soul Hacker, I actually noticed a couple of similarities to Digimortal of all albums. So what would you say to that?
Sure, it's part of going and reflecting upon your past. There's things that Digimortal is one of those records.
Cool, cool. Now let's get into the concept of the album a little bit. Now, if I'm not wrong, it's based on Ray Kurzweil's concept of the singularity, where man and machine will soon become indistinguishable from each other. So, what attracted you to this concept? Especially after so many years into your music, after so many concepts in the past albums.
I've always been a fan of sci-fi. The growing up as a child, the watching TV shows and movies about space and machines was always fascinating to me. And as I got older, I started understanding, and even more so. When Fear Factory started, these are things Dino and I would talk about, and we'd watch these types of movies. And it wasn't until Demanufactured that we created the sound that we wanted. And so what we had to do was create the concept. And so when the album was done, I came up with this synopsis, and I created this concept of a whole story. And that's where it all started.
Awesome, awesome. So let me ask you this. I'm a little curious about this. Since we're all so dependent on our computers, phones, tablets, and social networks, would you say that we're already somewhat in a state of Genexus and that the singularity might not be too far away for us?
I would absolutely agree with you. The seeds are growing right now. You can see it. You see it every day. I mean, the technology that people hold in their hands, it's already thinking for them. It's already sorting out thought patterns. It's already doing math. It's already arranging their schedule for them. It's remembering numbers. There's the advancement of technology and neurosciences and bionics, and it's all coming true on a daily basis. And Ray Kurzweil's theory is definitely it's very feasible that it could be in 2045.
Right, but there have been concepts before related to sci-fi, like for example, Y2K, which if I'm not wrong, was proven very wrong after the year 2000. So you still believe that the singularity will come true in some time?
Well, you never know. I mean, technology, Y2K was just a fear, an irrational fear.
Okay.
As a computer, of course, it can compute how to do a day change. It was completely irrational. However, the oncoming of the singularity, it's a fantastic theory, and it's quite plausible. Especially with nanotechnology being developed as we speak.
True.
Like I said before, neurosciences are working with technology to work the brain with machines.
Right.
It's something that people will have to embrace sooner or later. It's not going to be taboo.
Wow, that sounds really big for us right now. Now getting back to the album, I've got to tell you, I'm hearing a lot more, guitar solos and epic keyboard parts and soundscapes in the new songs that I don't think I've heard much of in your older albums. I kind of feel like you're really stretching the boundaries of Fear Factory's sound that way. I mean, would you agree?
I would agree. It's something that we like to challenge ourselves. It's something that drives our passion, and when we add these things, it's only to enhance the sound, not to become the sound.
Right. But I've got to ask you one thing. Since you guys are so known for your industrial metal sound, do you think there's anything like sounding too mechanical or too industrial, especially when it comes to your sound, like in the guitars and drums, etc.?
Well, no. I mean, I think that's what defines us. That's what created the Fear Factory sound. That's why it's unmistakably a Fear Factory record. That's our sound. Right. That's what puts us into the industrial metal category, which is not very many people in that. There's not many bands in that category.
True.
We did use more machines on the last record, and that was an experiment, and that record was a little too sterile sounding. So, that's why we used a live drummer on this album this time.
Right. So I guess that, using completely programmed drums in the Industrialist, and after that, I guess you wanted to compensate for that by including Mike Heller more in the live drums for Genexus. Am I right in saying that? Yeah,
that's right. There's something a real drummer can do. There's nuances, there's elements and feeling that a real drummer could put into it than a machine can't. Plus, the live sounds are, the natural live sounds are even better than samples and machines.
Right. And, I guess, when it comes to live drums, there is this sort of thing about human playing drums, the imperfections in the beats that kind of make it sound really natural as opposed to a machine where everything is click and set. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would agree with that. It's part of the nuances of having a live drummer.
Cool. But, I've got to tell you one thing. To be very honest, we at Wani have interviewed a lot of musicians in the past, and one of them a few days ago actually happened to be Gene Hoglan, who was on Mechanized. So he gave us our opinion that, after he played on one of your deadliest records yet, Mechanized, he kind of felt that the programmed drums that you used after Mechanized weren't taken as seriously by the fans. So do you have any response for this?
I sure don't.
Yeah, so I guess you really don't want to bother with that sort of thing anymore.
All right, whatever Gene Hoglan says, I'd just rather move past it.
Great, I understand. So let me ask you one thing. You guys went through quite some changes before Genexus, with Tony Campos coming into the band and then shifting record labels to Nuclear Blast. So what was the atmosphere like in the studio while recording Genexus, after all those changes?
Well, Tony came in after the record was recorded.
Oh, okay.
So it was just me, Dino, and Reese in the studio, and Mike Heller. But it was Dino and I are the heart of Fear Factory, so it wasn't really too different.
Yeah, so it wasn't all that different from how you and Dino record albums always, is it?
That's right.
Okay, great. And speaking of the last album a little bit, we've just heard that you've got your own Industrialist graphic novel coming out. So how about giving us a little insight into that?
Well, it's been 2 years in the making, and
wow.
It's completely independent. I did it all myself. I hired an artist named Noel Gard out of London to create the images that I wrote for the story that was in the Industrialist. And basically, over the past 2 years, I've been planning to get this out. I found a colorist, I found a printer. I got tired of trying to find a publisher, so I decided just to release it on my own. So it was completely independent, very limited release. And it's only available on my website, burtoncbell.com.
Right. I've noticed the release of the graphic novel on burtoncbell.com. So how the fans reacted to it so far? You've got a lot of pre-orders coming in, I bet.
Yeah, it's been very positive. We're probably going to sell out by the weekend.
Cool. Now, one more thing. Even though Fear Factory is so big, Dino actually manages to devote time to his other band, Breweria. So have you ever thought about performing with your other group, Ascension of the Watchers, again sometime?
I have performed with Ascension of the Watchers, but only in the States.
Ah, all right.
Dino's not in Breweria anymore either.
Oh, okay. All right. So, are there any other plans for you for Ascension of the Watchers, perhaps after Genexus?
Absolutely. We have a bunch of new songs that I would like to record properly, and get them out somehow. So I just got to find the right home for that as well. But that'll definitely happen.
Okay. Great. So, do you want to give us an update on Fear Factory's upcoming tours and concerts, or perhaps an update into the Dielectric music video?
Well, the last I heard about Dielectric music video, the CGI is still being produced. It's going to be a lot of CGI, so it's all post-production at this point. But it should be done pretty soon. Hopefully, it'll be done by the end of the month. But it's going to be pretty spectacular, I have a feeling. We're going to be playing, he's going to superimpose us between like these Tesla coils with the lightning going back and forth and electricity currents going back and forth.
Wow.
And there's supposed to be a machine that comes to life as we're doing this. So it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to be touring after this. We go straight to the United States, and we're gonna on the July 23rd. We're gonna start touring with Cold Chamber through the States,
right.
And we're gonna continue through mid-September. And there's a bunch of stuff being planned. It's not confirmed yet, but we're gonna be touring through the rest of the year.
Awesome. So
we are going to be. What is confirmed is November, December, we'll be out here in Europe again, performing Dean Manufacture in its entirety.
Right. That is an amazing thing to look forward to for the fans. Now, perhaps there are any plans to come back to India sometime, because we really enjoyed your first gig here last year, man.
I would love to come back to India. I loved it there. It's quite a spectacular country.
Right, and I'm just going to tell you a little personal story. I actually caught your concert at Pune. I actually traveled all the way from Bangalore, which is in another state, to Pune. And I'll tell you one thing. After the concert ended, I actually just walked away from the grounds and just left. And then about 5 minutes later, I get a call from a friend of mine saying that you've come out on the grounds and are taking pictures with the fans, and where the hell am I and everything. And I've got to tell you, I was really banging my head on the vehicle that time, man.
Yeah, I was totally walking around. I wanted to see what was going on at the Big Ass Festival, so it was pretty cool. People were really nice, and I had a great experience in India. I'd love to come back. Hopefully play Bangalore, Pune. I would love to play Mumbai. Right. And New Delhi, we weren't really in New Delhi. I'd like to actually play New Delhi.
Yeah, and I really guess you'd like to explore all those cities as well, do a little bit of sightseeing and whatnot.
Yeah, we had a few days off in Mumbai, and I walked around constantly, walking around and ate great food everywhere.
Yeah, and I hope it didn't get food poisoning or anything, though. I hope it wasn't too spicy for you.
No, not once. Not once. I was completely healthy the entire time.
Oh, that's great. And you also came on Sahil Makhija's Headbangers Kitchen show when you had that awesome demanufactured mutton biryani.
Yeah, that was amazing. So much. That biryani was so delicious.
Right. And, before we end this, your point about the Dielectric music video actually reminded me of something. Yeah, I really love the music videos that you had for Resurrection and Cars, and ever since I felt that since the record industry has changed so much, the art of the music video, especially for metal bands like you guys, has changed a lot. Maybe like lower budgets and more live settings and everything. So what would you say about that change?
It's the way it's been. It's all because of the internet. The internet pretty much destroyed the entire industry, and now we have to do new things and with less money and do what we can because no one's buying records anymore.
Right.
So it's a sad state of affairs, but we're making everything happen as we can.
Right.
That's what I'll tell all the fans, to always support your favorite artist, because if you don't, they won't be able to come around anymore.
Yeah, very, very true, very true. But I'm just curious. Do you see any positive points about the internet in terms of bands? Perhaps you can reach out more to your fans and do more things with it.
Well, yeah, there's always positivity with it. It's just the fans need to be educated, and especially the younger fans need to be educated, because a lot of the younger fans expect everything to be for free now, and they need to understand that if everything's for free, then no one can, their artist can't survive.
Yeah, right. Great words to take advice from. Now, finally, tell us, your fans in India and all over the world, in one line, what fans can expect from Genexus.
I believe that all the fans can expect Genexus to be a new classic from Fear Factory.
Awesome. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Thanks a lot for talking to us, Burton. And
thank you and I apologize again for the delay in the interview. I'm really, really sorry about that.
No problem.